Let us move on to another topic, though, because I want to ask you about drugs. The sampling showing that in Australia, we're all in. The use of methamphetamine in particular and cocaine on the rise. You must see this in your work. It probably doesn't surprise you. Is it doing a lot of damage?
Yes, I mean, to a large extent it's used recreationally, but certainly there's a set of people that use it heavily. And you're right, the cost of living doesn't seem to impact this too much. And it does seem to overlap a lot with finances to some extent. You know, Sydney's got high use. WA, interestingly, in WA is the one place where regional use is greater than the city use, and that's the mining.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's very interesting.
But wouldn't they have drug testing on a lot of those mining sites?
Yeah, it's true. So, but they seem to find a way to getting away with it. But you're right. I would have thought so. But look, obviously it's going on. There's a lot of damage. But I do wonder if decriminalisation, the growing amount of it, even if it doesn't necessarily directly increase use everywhere, it is a broader message that hey, it's all right.
Yeah, I saw someone just going crazy on the street the other day, and everyone was saying someone off their head on meth. But
what was happening about it?
Everyone was just avoiding this bloke, right?
Yeah. I think it comes down to that debate. You know, it will rage on forever about harm minimisation and decriminalisation and the tough penalties. They don't work either. But I would argue that tough penalties are usually maximum penalties that aren't usually enforced.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a culture of everyone's on cocaine. Well, those who can afford it. I don't know with interest. Oh, sorry. Well, you said interest rates.
Being made here.
I don't know. I mean, he's up there with the doctors of the world. I don't know. Those that can afford it. Interest rates. I don't know. That's going to make a difference. But
are you worried about the increasing prevalence and like the softer laws in the ACT? Are they going to make drug-related problems?
It sends the message that it's okay, and now it's okay. It normalises it, and I see it with teenagers talking about various drugs.
Yeah.
It's very normalised. It's not spoken as this hushed kind of illicit drug use unless it's kind of really bad, like heroin. I mean, that's but the cocaine and the cannabis is very much in this cluster of drugs where it's socially acceptable, without kind of forgetting. Well, hang on a second, this is an illegal substance. It's an illegal act that we were doing here.
But do we see psychological problems and psychiatric problems as a result of this?
Yeah, I think the broader message that we're getting either medicinal use or decriminalised use, it's very hard in my position, while there's a minority that will be especially harmed, it's hard for me to give out that message anymore. Because the broader message is, hey, it's either okay or it can be used medicinally. So where's the bit that it does genuine harm? That message isn't easy to give.
Now, I just want to quickly touch on schools, because there's been a British education expert out here saying that in Australia we need to toughen up on the discipline. We need more discipline. Come in sunshine. I think that's been obvious to all of us for a long while, hasn't it?
He said, children learn better in calm classes. Hallelujah. This is what I've been saying for 10 years. These are the kids, the teenagers now, where 10 years ago I was saying, they couldn't give them a timeout in preschool. They can't use a red pen in kindergarten, and parents are coming to me. And what I'm seeing is that parents are coming desperate to get their children into a private school, for parents that ordinarily would send their kid in the public education.
Because
and I think that's because, there is an understanding that they will be more structured and they will have more boundaries. And what I'm worried about is this increasing chasm between, you should be able to get a very good public school education in Australia.
Chris, a key point I think that he did make is we are increasingly outsourcing all sorts of problems, behaviour, underperformance, you name it, to the mental health sector. Everything's being called a disorder, and that's just not in schools, be it the courts or at work. So I think that's a really good point.
Discipline and responsibility.
I think that's an important point.
And at school.
Exactly.